Good morning, everyone. Simon here from Aquabatics, checking in with the online boat swap for 2020. I'm really grateful for anyone who is here listening into this, and I really hope that we have a really fun day and interesting and educational day ahead. I just uploaded all of the quantities to the consignment items, so I was kind of watching that with great interest, and it looks like that people are starting to get into that. So you can find all of that consignment stuff just by going to aqoutdoors.com. At the homepage, we have a link to the event homepage, and you can find all of the great deals and everything, which I'll go into more detail in this little intro shortly, because I think most of the people who are jonesing to get stuff are already in there. So this morning, this little conversation, this live stream is going to be a bit of a monologue. I don't have any guests lined up for this one, so you'll spend the remainder of the day not really listening to me so much, but to our educated and wonderful guests that we've got going on. So I just wanted to give everyone a bit of a rundown of what's going on here today, and give people an opportunity to ask questions and such. So it's a bit funny, man. Like, I am a very confident public speaker, but Tom and I and others have been putting quite a lot of energy into this. It's sort of learning a new skill set and trying to figure out different ways of doing things in this current situation. And so I'm actually quite nervous, which is really, really strange for me, but kind of exciting at the same time. So I'm pretty into it. The presenters that we've got, I'm sure, will not be nervous, and they're going to give great information for the rest of the day. So yeah, lots of unknowns. Hopefully the technology works. Hopefully I do the interviewing justice, and that's pretty much it. If we get through that, we're going to be stoked. So first up, I want to put a big thanks out to Apero Creative Development. So they're the key people behind paddling maps. They also do our website. So Dan, Nathan, and the team there do a fantastic job. They do paddling maps basically for free, and it's becoming a really, really valuable resource. It's just a project that they've really enjoyed working on. I've known Dan for a long time. And they've also donated a $100 gift card for this online presentation, just for this one, just for this 45 minutes or 40 minutes or so. So to go into the draw to win it, you have to post in the comments your favorite kayak photo, whether it's on your phone, off your computer, or whatever. And then, as with the film comp, we will completely subjectively and arbitrarily choose the one we like the best, and whoever that is will get a $100 gift card at Aquabatics to spend in Calgary or Edmonton or online. So I really want to say thanks to Apero Creative Development for bringing that to the table. They've been a great partner, a great supporter, and fantastic friend of the paddling industry. So yeah, if you do have any web programming needs or anything like that, there you go to, guys. So that kind of moves. It's interesting. Like I said, this is a monologue. So if that's not what you're into, come back at 10 and we'll have some more interesting people to listen to. But it's really quite interesting right now. This weekend is typically our physical boat swap, which we've been doing for 10 years. And it's a total love-hate relationship for us. I swear. It takes tons of effort to get it set up. It takes tons of effort to get set up. There's always the stress of, are people going to turn up or are they not going to turn up? Is the weather going to be good? Is the weather going to be bad? Are we going to be talking to people about consignment boats in the snow or in the sun or in the rain? It all seems like totally irrelevant. I'm so sad that we don't have it. Like, I'm looking out my window here to a completely empty parking lot, which is usually full of energy and people and boats, and it's kind of a kick-off to the paddling season for so many, and it's such a great social event, I think, in my humble opinion anyway. And it's not there. So it's quite funny here. I'm talking at a screen, looking at myself, rather than catching up with friends who I haven't seen all winter. So it's fantastic. It's fantastic to see so many people commenting already. It's awesome. So keep that coming for the whole day. We're basically, just looking to reach out, and this is the best we can do right now to to touch base with you all. So thanks for tuning in. Another thing I would like to express right now is our gratitude to everyone who's reached out and been so supportive in the last month or so. Like, we know that it's pretty easy, I think, right now for small business owners. Like, it is a struggle for sure, but it's pretty easy for us to get a bit defeatist and feel like it's only happening to us. And you take a step back and realize that it's not. It's happening to many. So the fact that so many people have reached out and provided support and even buying gift cards, and Barb Cardwell from the Paddle Junkies, and the Paddle Junkies put up $400 worth of gift cards for anyone who spent over $100 to go into the draw for that. So if you're a Paddle Junkies member and you haven't signed up for that, check in with Barb and make sure you get in the draw for that, because you only got to spend $100 and you can get $400 gift. You could win a $400 gift card. It's not on consignment items, so it's not discount items, yes, but not consignment items. So I think, in all seriousness, the clubs around here, our friends, our family, everyone, I just want to say thanks. It's been quite humbling for sure. The business support that's come from people much smarter than me has been really gratefully received. So yeah, shout out to everyone for that. So thank you. The next bit is those who haven't bought stuff yet on the boat swap and are planning to. You might want to get over there now, because I'm sure a lot of the desirable stuff is going as we speak. Phone's ringing off the hook, so I guess that's good news. It's good. It's good to have some buzz and excitement and some noise in the shop again. It's all been very quiet with just Tom and myself kind of hanging out. So buying at the boat swap, it's a little bit different than, it's the same as normal, but it's different. It's online. There may be some glitches and tweaks and things that we have to deal with, but the main things is that we're not shipping consignment stuff. You either need to pick it up yourself or figure out a way to pick it up. The other thing is there's no returns. Okay, so there's no returns on the gear. It is definitely a buyer beware thing. The caveat to that is if a seller has kind of led us up the garden path and the item is in much worse condition or is quite different to what they advertised, then we will certainly tell them that that's not okay and you get your money back. But if you buy it and it's got a bigger scratch than you thought you did, that's just the nature of consignment, and it's a bit unfortunate that we don't have you can't physically be here. So that's just one of the little nuances for this year. It's first come, first served, and this is our first try at this, and it may be our last, because I'd much prefer to have a bunch of people here to chat with than spend tens of hours on the computer building website stuff. But be patient with us. We hope everything goes smoothly, but we do ask for your forgiveness and patience if anything doesn't quite go 100% right. And then for the buyers, we're going to, just given the current state of health warnings and that kind of thing, what we are going to do is spend this coming week having people drop off the stuff that's been sold. We're going to give it a clean. We're going to store it until next week, and then we'll allow pickups in Edmonton and Calgary the following week, just to give it a little bit of time, like based on the recommendations of how long it takes for the virus to disappear. We're gonna adhere to those as best we can. So yeah, and pickup will be available in Edmonton and it will be available in Calgary. We'll just have to coordinate that with everyone. So we're adhering to the distancing laws. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown on the buying at the boat swap. So get on over to the website. It's aqoutdoors.com /pages/boat swap. I'll just pop it up on the screen here real quick. For those of you who haven't seen it, sorry, give me a second. It's just going to come up on the bottom of the screen here right away. My mouse has stopped working. So that's how you get to the homepage there. So yeah, and I guess the next part, and I don't know, the consignment part's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting, and obviously right now any sales we make are gratefully received. But I sort of feel a little more excited about what we have lined up for the day. This has been a super interesting process for me, trying to learn how to do this Facebook Live stuff, and kind of crossing fingers and hoping technology works and all that sort of thing. So basically, on the right of the screen here, we have the schedule, the itinerary for today. So got me in the morning. Okay, so you got the B team here to start with, and then we move into a talk I'm like so excited about. First up, with Tino Spate from level 6. He's spent much of his adult life tripping around the world and paddling whitewater and paragliding and mountain biking and such, and he is going to give us a rundown on kayaking in Chile. So right now we're all locked down. I think some of us are going to want to travel after this. Some of us are going to want to kind of stay local. But either way, this is going to provide some amazing inspiration, I hope. Passionate guy. And we've got some great images. And he's going to kind of give us a rundown of paddling in Chile from north to south and how to do it on different budgets. Like, how do you do it as 21-year-old Simon versus how do you do it as 41-year-old Simon? Like, they're quite different. And then there's obviously people who would like to do it more comfortably than me as well. So everything in between. So it's going to be a wide-ranging conversation and lots of opportunities to chime in, ask questions, and all that good stuff. Then at 11 o'clock, one of the most passionate men in paddle sports, Colin Kemp, who's been a very, very long-term employee ambassador for Jackson Kayaks, was also a retail store and kayak school owner, just like kind of like what we're doing here. He's down in California. He's based in Reno. He is going to give a master class on outfitting Jackson whitewater kayaks. So, there's all the basic stuff using the happy feet, the happy seat, and all that kind of thing. But he's going to talk a lot about, you in between size people. How do you pick the right boat? How do you make it work? What are the key components that you need to consider when sizing up a boat for yourself? So a lot of people just think it's weight and height, but there are a lot of other variables that really help you get into the correct kayak. So yeah, he's going to jump on and give a great talk on that. Just to let you know, there's going to be prize draws for all of these events. So we basically have come up with like just small, fun draw prize kind of things that will be picked on like either a random name out of a hat. Whereas with Collins, he's going to do a skill testing question at the end. So basically thinking that he'll have a skill testing question, and hopefully you can pick up some cool Jackson swag from that. Then the next one, this is actually incorrect. It says with Pat, but basically Stig Larson, who's one of the co-founders of Level 6, is I'm going to have an interview. I'm going to do an interview with Stig, and we're going to talk about where Level 6 came from, what the ideas were, the standard stuff. But then we're also going to talk about some of the challenges that Level 6 have had as a company and how they've sort of overcome those over the years, and a pretty wide-ranging conversation. Stig and I know each other quite well, so it'll have a pretty casual kind of a feel to it. But for many of you, the most interesting part, they're doing a reveal on their dry suits. So the Odin and the Freya are their 2 new dry suits for this year. So they're going to be, Stig is going to give you a rundown on those. And then right now on the website, they're already 15% off on the Level 6 top 20 page, which you can find on the homepage for the event. But there's going to be even further discount if you do sit in. There'll be a code that comes up at the end of that, and you'll be able to even get more of a discount on those dry suits. So you can get into a brand new, super high quality dry suit for pennies on the dollar. So check that out if you're into that. Then after that, I think one of the premium events for today, and the one that I've received the most excitement and feedback for, is a live interview with Dane Jackson from Jackson Kayaks, Red Bull, and GoPro. So he and I, we've got some pre-planned questions from the great folks who follow our Facebook page, but we're also going to, go off the cuff a bit, and there'll be lots of opportunity. We'll do a Q&A in that as well. So really looking forward to chatting with Dane, and he's kind of stuck at home in Tennessee, and he's kind of frothing to get out paddling and everything, but he's excited to have a chat with everyone. So that's going to be really good fun, I think. The next one, 2 o'clock, so 2 p.m., we're going to go through just it's going to be a bit of a bro down between Brandon, Tim, and I. So those of you in Calgary, you probably know the 3 of us. So we're going to share some embarrassing stories, how we got to know each other, and basically talk a bit about the progression and of what we teach, where that progression kind of ends, some philosophy around like why we teach and why we teach what we teach, and give people the opportunity to ask technique questions as well. We're not going to just do technique because it gets a little bit dry and it's hard to do online, but we're really stoked to sort of answer people's questions around that. At 3 o'clock, we've got live this is from Idaho, Moscow, Idaho, wrong way around, from the NRS headquarters. Terry and Mark are going to be doing a how to fit your raft with a frame tutorial. So we're going to be looking at fishing frames, multi-day frames, day tripping frames, and everything in between. So it's going to be like a really in-depth opportunity to ask questions and see how you go about like outfitting a raft for getting on the river, whether it's someone like me who's doing multi-day float trips with his young kids and family, to someone who wants to go on raft hard whitewater and that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll get lots of people chiming in with questions there. And then last but definitely not least, we've got the boys, the fishing boys, the kayak fishing crew, Mike Zilkowski, Andy Watt, and who's our assistant manager up in Edmonton, and then one of our ambassadors, Trevor Thompson. They're going to have a very wide-ranging conversation around the Western Canadian Kayak Fishing Trail, which is in its 6th year now, I believe, and it's growing every year. And with all of this COVID-19 stuff, it's obviously going to be a little bit different for that this year. And so, discussing how that looks for 2020, and yeah, there'll be lots of banter. I'm sure those guys like to get on each other's case, so that should be pretty fun. And then we should be done by about 5 o'clock. So each of them are individual live broadcasts. So we were going to do them all as one long one, but I was strongly advised not to do that because it diminishes the quality of the feed. So yeah, you just have to go to the Facebook page and just check out what's running live. And yeah, hopefully you can run this stuff in the background. It's a totally garbage day outside. I read somewhere in the news that there was a snowstorm that was like 3,000 kilometers long coming into Canada this weekend or something. So if you're not getting out and about, we'd love to spend the day with you. So yeah, thanks for checking in. So not everyone watches this whole thing. I wouldn't expect anyone to sit through more than 5 minutes of my chatter, but so I just wanted to quickly, I can't see images. So Maddie's tracking that at the moment. So Maddie, if you want to comment on this, you can. Basically, if you chuck an image up in the comment feed, so just hit reply and then you hit a tag. I see a question from Dave Sterling here. Just hit reply and then you post an image. You basically just like click the little image thing. You can tell I'm really good at this Facebook stuff, right? Click the little image icon and then you can just add an image from your phone or from your computer. So I don't know, it's just super nice for people to be able to see a bunch of pictures. And so Apero Creative Development, our web design team, our web development team, sorry Dan, our web development team, not web design, I'm not allowed to say that, web development team, putting up $100 gift card that Maddie's going to choose her favorite picture. It can be paddling related. It can be, we got Christy and Matt there taking their paddling pick for the day. So it could be family picks. It could be whatever Maddie likes the most is going to win the $100. So it's a bit of a crapshoot, but you got to be in it to win it, right? And that'll be $100 gift card for either online or either of the stores. So, like I said, this is a bit of a twofold thing. We have put a lot of effort into the sales side of it. So we are doing a bunch of sales today on the website. We're also doing the consignment piece, which is totally new ground for us. But this is not a great image, but basically we have a bunch of specific deals going on the website. So feel free to share these with friends or family. Feel free to ignore them. That's totally fine by us. So we've got basically all of our dryware is somewhere in the sort of 10 to 25% off range. Like I mentioned earlier, if you tune in at noon until about 1, we're going to have some further discounts on the new level 6 stuff. We have a level 6 top 20 items page, and so almost everything on there right now is 25% off. The dry suits are at 15, but if you do come in and check in with that code, it'll bump it up 5 or 10%. So that's kind of nice. There's an NRS clearance page as well, so that stuff's mainly housed in our Kamloops warehouse, and there's lots and lots and lots of inventory there. So yeah, check that out, and there's a bunch of really good deals, lots of good recreational PFDs and a whole bunch of other stuff on there as well. So for the recreational paddlers or the fisher people amongst us, the anglers amongst us, we've got some Star inflatable kayaks. So hard bottom floors, you can stand up in them, cast out of them, really comfortable, paddle really well, have hard keels in them. 3 different sizes. We've got some packages for those, and they are at an absolute scream of a deal. So if you go onto the website, you just search Star Paragon, they'll come up and you'll see them. Most in-stock items are 10% off. So if you go into products and they're not on sale, and like the medium is and the large isn't, it just means that the large isn't in stock. So we're not discounting stuff that we don't have here. And then we have the Badfish Monarch Sup package. That is going to be 15% off. So you just search Monarch, and then you've got the Thule 15% off. So basically we're doing 15% off all Thule roof rack stuff. Feel free to call in with that if you're trying to fit your vehicle. It's Thule 15 if you use it on the website. Otherwise, you can just give us a shout. Say you saw it on the Facebook page, and we're off to the races. So yeah, I just brushed over the Monarch Sup. I'm not quite sure why. Badfish Monarch Sup, really good all-round board. 15% off right now just for the weekend. So yeah, if you're looking at getting some stuff for getting out and physically distancing from people, I'm trying not to say socially distancing because it's kind of the opposite of what we're trying to do right now. So yeah, that's all that. The next little piece here is I just want to say thanks to the people who have collaborated and supported us through this little bit here. Like we talked about our local community and everything, and that's been like, you know, like I said, really, really humbling. Like really humbling. It doesn't even begin to express that. But the supporters and the manufacturers, I think there's been a ton of support for small businesses and that out there during this, and it's fantastic. It's wonderful to see. But the manufacturers are going through this as well. Like there's just a total glut of cash flow right now, and retailers aren't selling anything, and they're unable to pay their bills with their manufacturers, and the manufacturers are, you know, have received all of their inventory and all that sort of thing. And it's just this, like, it's just a total schmozzle right now. And they are, sorry, I just got sidetracked on a message there. Basically everything's just a glut. Like it's crazy. But I reached out to a bunch of people, and Level 6, NRS, and Jackson have just been like super behind this since day one. It was met with varying responses, to be perfectly honest, from friends, family, businesses, and everything. And I don't blame them. Like this whole idea was a bit wacky, I think. But Level 6, NRS, and Jackson have been stoked on this since day one. And you know, you can see in the list of people speaking, they're all coming with some kind of contact with those businesses. So we're just super grateful for their, you know, getting out of bed in the morning, dusting off the doubt, dusting off the, oh God, how do I motivate myself to move forwards, and getting this done with us. So, you know, without them, this wouldn't be possible. It would be nowhere near as cool. You'd just be listening to me talk for a day, which would be thoroughly awful. So yeah, thanks again, Level 6, NRS, Jackson. Thanks so much, guys and girls, for being involved. The other people I want to thank is the people I've interviewed so far during the week. So that's been kind of fun. Steffi Van Wyck from MKC, Madawaska Canoe Center. We had a great chat a couple of weeks ago. Nikki Reckman and Liam McGowan I had a chat with this past Wednesday about canoeing in Western Canada, and I learned a whole bunch and got super inspired to get out in a canoe for the first time in 15 or 20 years. And then coming up, we've got a whole bunch more. We're doing them on Wednesdays. So we've got Mike Harvey from Badfish next week. I'm hoping to chat with Ad Live from Kootenay Stand-Up Paddle in the coming weeks, and a whole swath of other people. So we're just going to keep that going. We might even keep it going after this all finishes, this whole COVID thing, because it's been kind of fun. Yeah, so I think the main thing is I just really appreciate the time people have taken to chat. And I don't know, we were chatting the other day, Nikki, my wife, and I, we were chatting and talking about how it's an interesting scenario because so many people are not working right now. Those who are working, many of them it feels really hard to get behind it because maybe their spouse or someone close to them isn't working, and it feels like there's this weird energy drain that's going on through this thing. And I know I personally do it every day. Get out of bed in the morning, it's 5 o'clock, get up, take a breath, have a talk to myself, and just get on with it. And I just appreciate everyone doing that. It's been really inspiring to see that from my seat here and my perspective. So yeah, again, really, really grateful for that support from everyone, friends, family, community, customers, businesses, and everything. It's been really good. You know, some of our employees, Dad Brian Peters, thanks man if you're watching, it's been giving me some great advice around how to navigate this as far as the government subsidies and all that sort of goes. So that's been really cool. Lots of great people out there. Other nice thing is we've got a few people here today. So Maddie's here. Thanks, Maddie. She's moderating the comments and everything. Tom is fixing whatever I didn't build correctly. So if anyone, I saw a couple of comments of people not being able to buy consignment items right at 9 o'clock. That's on this guy. And Tom and the team downstairs are trying to fix that right now. So I do apologize for any of those challenges. But again, like I said earlier on, if you're watching, please be patient with us. This is kind of new and a bit of a challenge for us. So Brian and Jocelyn are both down there manning the phones and helping out. So, we're just trying to have a bit of normalcy here, which is kind of fun. So that's pretty much it. Start to finish, that's all I've really got for everyone right now, other than a big thank you for making it out and checking this out. Please drop in during the day. A bunch of people have made time to come out and join us for some great conversation. Well, hopefully some great conversation. If I do my job right, it'll be great. And then just stick it on in the background on the TV. If you've got projects going on, just don't need to see our ugly mugs. You can just check in and hear the voices. Kind of like a poor man's podcast, I guess, is what this is all about. So thanks very much, gang. I'm gonna check out now, and make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. Tino and I will be starting up pretty close to 10 on the nose for our chat about paddling in Chile and potentially future adventures after all of this wraps up. So thanks so much, everyone. We will stay in touch during the day, and please call us, email us, hit us up on Messenger, whatever you want, and we'll get back to you right away. So I'm actually, I'm going to leave this on a little bit longer. So just to reiterate, the Apero Media, Apero Creative Development offer of $100 gift card for anyone who we do a draw for anyone who pops a photo in the comments, and so chuck a bunch of photos in there, get it done, and we'll be in touch soon. So thanks so much for checking in, and we'll be back on at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I think it is MDT. Okay. Cheers, everyone. We'll talk soon.